let's talk about something fundamental. It's an idea from the psychologist Carl Jung, and honestly, it's a challenging one. It gets right to the heart of what makes us feel emotionally powerful, or what can leave us feeling weak, unseen, and just disconnected. To really get it, we have to be willing to take a look at the parts of ourselves we'd rather keep hidden.
You've probably seen this quote on the internet somewhere. "I'd rather be whole than good." But when Carl Jung said this, it wasn't some feel-good slogan for a coffee mug. No, this was a profound, serious warning. He was pointing a giant red flag at a trap that almost all of us, and I mean almost all of us, fall right into. This desperate, deep-seated need to be seen by everyone else as good. And as we're about to see, chasing that version of goodness comes with a truly staggering price. In fact, if you follow Jung's logic all the way through, this obsession with being good is precisely why a staggering 99% of people might be living their lives completely disconnected from their own power. Think about that. 99%. Living life feeling fragile, less compelling, less magnetic, less them than they could be. So what on earth could possibly be so wrong with just trying to be a good person? Well, here's the problem. It all comes down to what being good actually means in our culture. And here's the tough truth. It's a kind of lie. The socially approved, stamped and certified version of goodness is often just a code word for being incomplete, for being only a tiny, polished fraction of who you actually are. Think back. You've heard it your whole life, right? Just be yourself. But it's the biggest lie we're told, because there's always a silent part too. The full sentence is, just be the version of yourself we find acceptable. From the moment we're born, we're being conditioned. We learn very quickly what parts of our personality get us a smile and a pat on the head, and what parts get us a frown, a punishment, or worst of all, get us ignored. So we start performing. We learn to trim away the messy bits, to hide the intense feelings, to cut off the inconvenient parts of ourselves just to fit the script that our parents, our teachers, and our society handed us. And this programming, it sounds so familiar, doesn't it? Don't be too loud. Don't get angry, it's not nice. Don't brag, nobody likes to show off. Don't be selfish, you have to share. Always be polite. And the big one? Smile, even when you feel like crying. Each one of these little rules, taught with the best of intentions, was a lesson. It taught us that a natural, spontaneous part of our own personality was wrong or shameful or unacceptable. And every single time we obeyed, every time we swallowed our anger or faked a smile, we took a piece of ourselves, a living, breathing piece, and we locked it away in a dark room. That collection of locked away pieces, that's what Jung called the shadow. Okay, so what is this shadow? This thing we've all been building brick by brick since we were kids. What does it actually contain, and why does it matter so much?
Now, it's absolutely crucial to get this right. The shadow isn't some demonic entity. It's not pure evil waiting to get out. It's far more personal and far more intimate than that. The best way to think of it is like a psychological suitcase. It's the baggage that every single one of us carries. And inside that suitcase is every part of our identity, every impulse, every desire, every feeling that we were told was bad or wrong or inappropriate. We had to disown them to survive socially, to be loved, to fit in. But they didn't just disappear. We just packed them away.
And here is the part that changes everything. This is the big reveal. We all assume that the shadow just holds the so-called negative traits, like our rage, our jealousy, our selfishness. And yes, of course, those are in there. But, and please hear this, the shadow also holds our exiled power. It's a goldmine of positive, vital energy that we've been taught to be ashamed of. Your ambition, the part of you that wants to win, to achieve, to be the best? Oh no, that's bragging or arrogance, so you packed it away. Your boldness, that fire in you that wants to speak up, to challenge things, to say no? Nope, that's rude or aggressive. Into the suitcase it goes. Your sensuality, your wildness, your deep, messy, powerful, emotional core? Society calls that too much or too dramatic, so we lock that away too. We exile our greatest strengths right alongside our weaknesses. And this leads us directly to a serious, serious warning. Because there is a heavy, unavoidable price for living this way. Pretending those parts of you don't exist isn't a passive act. It's not neutral. It is an active process that drains your vitality, sucks away your energy, and sabotages your life in ways you rarely even notice until it's too late. When you reject half of who you are, you don't become good or pure. You become fragile. You become weak. Jung's idea is that you become a kind of half person. Imagine a beautiful, sturdy chair that only has two legs. You can prop it up against a wall, and from a distance, it might look fine. But the moment you apply any real pressure, the moment life gets real and you actually need to lean on it, it collapses. That's what happens to us. We become emotionally brittle. We feel hollow inside. We become predictable because we only allow ourselves to operate from a tiny, approved sliver of our full personality. So you end up with a choice. A fundamental choice about how you show up in the world. On one side, you have the mask. This is the good person. Always polite, always agreeable, never makes a fuss. But you can feel it, can't you? There's a hollow energy to them. And that hollowness, that lack of substance, it subconsciously repels deep connection. Why? Because on a gut level, nobody trusts a mask. It feels fake because it is fake. And it makes us emotionally brittle. On the other side, you have the whole self. This person isn't trying to be perfect. They are authentic, they're grounded, you can feel the weight of their presence. They aren't afraid of their anger or their ambition. And because they're real, they have this magnetic quality. That reality is what invites genuine trust and creates true emotional resilience.
You have to burn this into your brain. What you resist persists. Ignoring your shadow, pretending that suitcase isn't there, doesn't make it go away. It does the opposite. It makes it stronger, it makes it more desperate, and it will find a way out. It has to. It's that sudden, baffling, out-of-proportion outburst of anger over something tiny. It's that familiar, sinking feeling of self-sabotage that wrecks another good relationship or a great opportunity. It's the addictions we fall into, the compulsive eating, the drinking, the endless scrolling, anything to numb the pressure of what's trying to get out. Every time you feel out of control or say, I don't know what came over me, guess what? That is your shadow grabbing the steering wheel because you refuse to even acknowledge it was in the car. So, okay, if ignoring the shadow is so destructive, what's the alternative? The path forward isn't about trying to be better. That's the trap that got us here in the first place. The path forward is about being braver. It's about taking the path of what Jung called integration. It is the courageous, messy, and absolutely essential work of finally becoming whole. So how do you even start this journey? Well, first, you have to learn to recognize the clues. Start treating your overreactions not as flaws, but as messages. That sudden, intense flash of jealousy when your friend gets a promotion, don't just shame yourself for it. Ask it a question. Maybe it's a message from your own buried, starving ambition. Second, you have to revisit your past. Go back in your mind and identify what parts of you were punished into silence. When were you told you were too much? Third, you have to start taking small, real risks. Drop the mask, just for a moment. Try saying no to something without a long apologetic explanation. Just, no, I can't do that. And then sit with the discomfort. Finally, number 4, you have to embrace that you are a contradiction. You can be both fiercely strong and incredibly gentle. You can be wildly ambitious and deeply content. You don't have to choose. Wholeness means holding both.
But, and let's be brutally honest here, this work is deeply uncomfortable. And that 99% figure we started with, it's that high for a reason. It's because most people, when they arrive at this fork in the road, make the easier choice. They choose the familiar comfort of their mask over the messy, unpredictable truth of who they really are. They choose to protect their public image over developing their private integrity. And they choose the shallow, fleeting approval of strangers over the hard-won, profound intimacy that can only come from being a whole, real, integrated human being.
And this, right here, is what redefines what it means to be in that powerful 1%. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with status or looks. The most compelling, the most respected, the most genuinely attractive people walking this planet are the ones who are the most integrated.
They're the ones who have had the courage to go down into the basement, to open that suitcase, and to get to know what's inside. They know their own darkness and their own light, and they're not ashamed of either one. And that integration gives them a solidness, a presence, and an emotional resilience that is quietly, undeniably powerful.
So we end where we began, with Jung's warning, now transformed into a challenge. Don't settle for being good. Dare to be whole. The path of the good person is the path of being incomplete. It's safe, but it's also weak. The path of the whole person, it's demanding, it's confronting, but it is the only path that leads to authentic freedom and to authentic power. So the final question this explainer leaves you with is this: are you settling? Are you choosing the comfort of the mask, or are you finally daring to be whole?